up, you two? We in the train, we in the car. Choo choo. Well, hey, nah. Look at that. Choo choo. Ooh, pretty good workout today. Back and biceps, but I was really focusing on that. And I'm pumped as hell. I was really focusing on that contracting and squeezing. I was doing across the body curls, just squeezing it, holding it, those dumbbells out, just like 15, 20 pounds in each hand, holding them out from my body to, to make it harder, and squeezing it. And I was getting like 15, 20 reps. It's like I felt like I could keep going. It was weird. And then I did side ones right after that, and but I did other stuff before that. I did farmer walks with side ones, superset. Then I went into these, but I did reverse easy bar curls times bent barbell rows. But the purpose of this video, we're going to kind of discuss the I guess we're going to talk about the state of, where I'm at. There's a lot going on. You kind of look at the world out there and you see it as a different place. A lot of stuff happening. Like I told you, I get people coming in, that are in need and that are in desperate measures, and a lot of the volunteers that are higher up and are, retired and better lives. And, one guy's a retired banker, one guy, it's just, they live a better life, and they don't treat these people with much dignity and much respect. And, I often say to myself, when I say I hate my life and, I hate this and part of me does hate my life, I will be honest. Like I said, when you're bullied from 5 years up, all the way up, and then, you try different things and, you never can rectify that, and you never can get over it. You can drain a price on the mental, So, it's almost like go through my life and, you get to 47 years old and you realize, you didn't take the right opportunities. You didn't, I had plenty of opportunities and I failed them all. And, then when you realize when you're older and more mature, then it kind of weighs in more, because then you realize what you kind of threw out the window. And then as you're working with people that are more successful and demeaning other people and wondering what they're thinking of you, knowing you're the only, pretty much part-time worker there, so they're obviously going to hone in on me in probably some negative way. I already know that. Not all of them, but, maybe a few in particular. Maybe not, but needless to say, you see things for what they are, and I think we can all agree on that. I think we can all see things, I'm thinking a bit, this is all off the top, I didn't rehearse this is just a thought video here, but, we can all agree that we can see this here now. We can see what's happening, we can see the state of crap that we're in, I understand, everybody needs their rights, and we should not judgment and whatnot, but, there's a lot of things missing out there today, and a lot of pre-programming going on, and obviously with the iPhones and the iPads and the Apple phones and whatnot, everything else, social media, people are more brainwashed today, brainwashed into depression, brainwashed into success, which is a good thing. A lot of these guys do get successful or show their success, so that's kind of a different thing than the layman like us that are kind of looking at these successful people, which is more detrimental. If you're a successful person and you come on, well, that's fine, you're already successful. Then if you worked hard for it, great, but now you're coming out, you're telling your story. But sometimes, like I said, it could be a motivator, it could be a detriment, it could be an obsession. Keep watching obsession, so we're just in a world, in a spot that we're under the control, under the vice, under the technological, you know, the technological kind of hypnosis that we're under. You know, everybody is glued to the phone. Everybody has the phone, and we all need it. We're all on YouTube, TikTok. You know, they've iced it in, Facebook, and you know, it's very unstable right now. We're in an unstable world. Environmentally, we are messed up. You know, yeah, we are. You know, we are in some trouble. And you know, there's a lot of things going on. I'm not gonna share any agreement or disagreement on borders or what happened through the Biden administration there with how many were let in. I'm not getting into politics, and I'm not gonna say how I feel on that issue. But what I am gonna say is that could pose a threat by who was let in, where they are, what they're doing, and what interconnected stuff is happening. At some point, that could be a problem. You know. So I mean, I think we just need to kind of, I always say we got to come together. You know, the school systems, as well as they're doing, they're failing. You know, there's still a lot of shootings happening. There's still a lot of, you know, peer groups, you know, bullying, social media destruction. You know, you get into the hierarchy of the clothing, the status, you know, the same BS as when we were going to school, but different now. You know, it's more about swag. It's more about, you know, looking good, having the 300 sneakers, having the this, having the that, you know, going to Starbucks, you know, living high class, all right, which is fine, but you got to work for it, and you got to be doing that after you get yourself educated or find some type of job, non-educated, where, you know, you're making good money and you can afford these owings to yourself for your hard work. But these schools need to hone down and kind of get these kids geared and get these kids to say, hey, you guys are the voice and the change of this world, and you got to come together as a whole here. You can't separate, you can't deviate, but they learn that because there's separation of church and school. There's separation of the, you know, now they allow all the other stuff in. I'm not giving an opinion on that either, but you know, you can put a flag, you know, on the wall, which is fine. I'm all for that. But I also believe that I would say Jesus, but most people that are spiritual believe in God. Most even Hindus will not, I don't think, would have an issue with God. And even if you wanted to keep it more universal, you should be able to just say, you know, universal life force, because that encompasses it all without being direct. You see what I'm saying? And without posing a deity or without posing a religion, universe, you know. So you know, you let your flag up, and then, you know, you have your universal, you know, protector, however you want to call it, to make it non-specific, and you let these kids migrate and integrate. You know, you get some flag goers, and you get some religious goers, and you get them in a room together and talking, and then you throw some popular kids in there, and then you throw some nerds in there, and then you throw some resource in there, and you let everybody start talking and looking around and sharing their thoughts and their issues, coming together. Start small, bringing kids in small groups with all types, all colors, all creeds, come together and show some self-dignity, self-worth, you know, to these children. Let them get brainwashed to the sense that they can change. And it all starts in the school. It all starts with them accepting the non-accepted, with the non-accepted accepting the accepting. You get it? Everybody needs to accept each other, and nobody does. Everybody wants to point a finger. I ain't gonna point a finger. You look at yourself. We're all sinners. We're all people of immoral acts. And if you don't do drugs and you don't drink, well, if you're drinking tons of soda and eating chips and going to McDonald's all the time, you're addicted. You're in gluttony. So that's a sin itself if you want to go that route. So no matter what you are doing, you can't point a finger and put somebody down for what they are doing unless you are totally pure, which nobody is, unless they're on an island by themselves, or out in mainland China, out in the mountains of China as a couple together, married or something, living off the land, et cetera, doing good things. And even still, there's going to be sin. There's going to be lust. There's going to be desire. There's going to be this. There's going to be that. There's always going to be wants. There's all going to be, there's always something, because we're in an imperfect world. We are put here perfectly through birth, and then we become imperfect through life, and then life can damage us through circumstances and events which lead us to decisions, distractions, destructions, obstructions, constructions. Let me bust back on the fact as I hear rip track, bust it. All right, short one there, but we ain't rapping right now. But what I'm getting at is we have to come together. And I think we need to start in the school, and I think we need to start small, like I said, and we got to get these kids together, and we got to let them see the self-worth that everybody has, and it stop the pointing the finger, because that's not going to do us any good. You got to come together. We're humans. Cut us open, we bleed red, our bones are white, our organs are the same color. You know what I'm saying? It's an outer shell. And an outer shell doesn't matter with anything with a human race. You have a dog, you have a cat, you have other animals. Oh, some are prettier than others. Oh, I prefer one over the other. But do you hate the other one? Do you think the other one's... No. So why you do that to a human being? Animals deserve as much respect as a human, and humans deserve as much respect as an animal. No one should get any less respect. You treat a human to a beautiful degree, to the beautiful person that they are, right? All right? So you do that, and you treat your animal. You talk to them, you love them, you nurture them, you console them, you cuddle with them, you massage them, you give them treats, you show them love, you let them know they're part of the family. They become one with you as you become one with them. You see what I'm saying? And that's what happens when you take that out of the kid's mind and you add a little spirituality, add a little universal positive, thinking, different realms of mind thought to bridge over, to give to these kids, to get them thinking, to reprogram some of this, deprogrammed mentality going on through all the social media, the TikToks, the trends, the this, the that, the that, the this. I told you that time in the mall, those few kids, they did a TikTok trend on me. I didn't know. I'm stressed out. Found out I had osteoporosis, got a gallstone. I don't want to be F with. I don't want to be screwed with. Don't talk to me. Respect your elder, and if you don't, come at me, throw a shot, and I'll knock you out. Whatever. I'll break your face. Don't disrespect. And a lot of these youngsters like to do that, and they do that to the older people. And a lot older than me that can't do anything about it. That's unacceptable. And if I was there and they were toying with anybody, God forbid a woman with a child there, they might have been hit without me even being touched. Because the one thing I will not tolerate in my presence is anybody getting bullied, whether they're young, old, but especially elderly, handicapped, women, and child. Always remember that. That's what a man's about, you see? And the kids need to grasp some better concepts. And yeah, they're mature, their minds aren't there yet, but there's ways to break through. And I think I'm going to end with that. Wanted to just share some thoughts and kind of just went into where I was wanting to go, I guess I could say. You know, like I said, y'all see me fool around, capes, ties, antics. Come on, y'all. This is Mike right here. This is me. Laid back, chill. Okay? Like my 420. Like my bong. Alright? Like my weed. Not gonna lie. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. But I'm not some guy that's going around as food train Mike when I'm out there in the world, when I'm shopping, when I'm doing anything. I'm looking around ready to kill. Why? Because we're in a world right now where you got to expect someone to come into a Walmart and shoot it up. And what do? Well, you get to the back as quick as you can. You get your hands on, you know, some hammers. You know, maybe break some cases, get some knives if you can find them. And you head to the back. You try to get out. And if you can't, you hope you can dodge and fight your way out. You know, you got to be thinking of these things. How do you escape? You get a massive shooter comes in, you start hearing shots. What do? Well, you're going to run to the back. Okay? And if you have time, you're going to grab something. Okay? You're not going to run into a bathroom, and you're not going to run into a stock room that has no entrance out. You're going to try to get through the back because most have a way to get out. And if there's more than one, you might be in over your head. But you got to think about these things, and this is what I'm getting at. You know, we're in a world where I walk into these stores or I go anywhere and I'm thinking, hey, what's going to be up? Who am I going to get into? Who am I going to see? What's going to happen? You know, and it's draining. And I don't think about it all the time, but I'm prepared, and I look around all the time, and I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I look around, I know my surroundings, I know what's up, you know. And if I see anybody that looks whatever, I give them a stern look, and I turn away, and I leave it at that. You're going to press me, then, you know, throw a shot and, you know, whatever. Get my ass kicked, well, then, you know, I learned something, right? Do better next time. So, yeah, that's what I'm getting at. We got to change. The world needs to change for the better. And it has to start in the school, and it has to start with the generations coming up. And they need to hone in, and they need to get these kids programmed. They need to show these kids some graphic detail of these wars, of what these women's cutting the babies out of their stomach. They need to see this stuff. They need to see what's going on, because then they might realize that you don't need to pick on that person because he doesn't have the Nike Airs that your mom or dad can afford to get you. You don't need to pick on that person because he's a little semi-retarded or something. You don't need to pick on that person because he has a learning disability, how he or she has to go to the resource room. You know, you don't pick on someone because they're fat or ugly or overweight, or not the better, or not good looking or whatever. You don't do any of that. You know, I was told I was ugly my whole life by peers, so I just think I'm an ugly piece of shit in that sense. Why? Because I was told that. You don't do that to people. You don't tell people they're ugly. You don't tell people they're overweight. You talk to them. You ask them what's happening. What do you eat? You know, what's happening? I don't eat much. Well, that's why. Well, would you exercise? Maybe if you walk for 10 minutes a day and eat some of this, can I help you? I'll write you a diet. That's what you do to somebody. You give them life. You don't suck it out of them. All right? There's Food Tray Mike here. Choo choo. Trying to just enlighten on a thought here. Let me know if you all agree. Let you know what you think. And I'll be back with some food in a little bit. 12:42. I'm getting hungry. Just came back from shopping. I'm almost home. See you guys in a bit.